AITA for not inviting my fiancé's ex to our wedding. IF 26 have been with Henry M 36 almost 37 for 5 years. We are engaged and currently planning our wedding. A little background: Henry is the youngest child, and his mother really wanted a girl. Because of this, Henry grew up feeling despised by his mom, who openly says hurtful things like how he was a disappointment from the start, or how she never got the daughter she wanted. Despite this, instead of going no contact with her, Henry has been trying very hard to win her love. Henry had a long-term ex F 32 who is very close with his mother. She became the daughter his mother always wanted. However, this ex cheated on him with a coworker and left him. After 2 years, Henry and I met. Eventually, the ex wanted to get back together with him, but he said no and blocked her. Despite this, she and his mother remain best friends. His mother still invites her to family functions, and my fiancé and I just ignore her. His mother doesn't like me and believes I'm the reason she can't have her preferred daughter-in-law. My fiancé has explained many times that he would rather stay single forever than get back with his ex. So, even if I didn't exist, he wouldn't be with her. Yesterday, my mother-in-law asked how many guests she could invite to our wedding. I told her that since my parents could invite 8 to 10 people, she could do the same. She thanked me, but an hour later, she smiled and said, "Well, we have one yes," already referring to my fiancé's ex. I told her that was very inappropriate since we aren't even friends with her. She responded by saying that it's her guest list and none of my business. Then she said I'm insecure because the ex is the whole package and that I'm just a rebound girl. Henry told his mom to stop and asked her to leave. Once she left, he asked if I could be the bigger person and let her have this, as he really wants his mom to be at the wedding. He suggested that if inviting his ex would keep his mom quiet, we should just ignore her. Am I the asshole for not wanting her there? P.S. We are mostly paying for the wedding ourselves with some help from my dad. Mother-in-law hasn't contributed. Now for the update. Update 1. Thank you so much for the comments and DMs. I had a calm talk with Henry and explained how I feel disrespected by his mom's words and actions. While I can't control who she associates with, it is very disrespectful that she invites your ex to all the gatherings and that the two of them constantly pick on me. Henry acknowledged this, but said that's just how his mom is. I told him that it's best we cancel the wedding at this point, because I want our wedding day to be a happy, memorable occasion, not one filled with drama and stress. I added that his mom is going to ruin this day, and that he's just going to accept it as usual, which I can't tolerate. I told him I won't marry him until he sets some boundaries with his mother. This situation is ridiculous. Henry went on about how he can't cut his mom out of his life because she sacrificed so much raising him and his brother as a single mom. But he admitted he doesn't know how to handle her either. I told him I can't make that decision for him, but I'm going no contact with his mom. I suggested that maybe therapy could help him realize how abusive and toxic his relationship with his family is and help him decide what to do with his life. I also said I won't attend any more gatherings. He went quiet for a while. Then he called his mom on speakerphone to tell her that the wedding was canceled. She went on, saying he finally did the right thing by dumping that whiny bitch, calling me insecure and controlling and saying it was a miserable relationship. Henry kept interrupting her, saying, "Mom, stop," but she didn't care. In the end, he told her, "Mom, we are not breaking up. She's here and heard everything. She canceled it, not me, because you kept disrespecting her." His mom screamed, "That manipulative little bitch set me up," and started ranting again. Henry then told her that he needs some time to think, and it's best if she gives him some space, then hung up. We've barely talked since. He's spending today helping his brother with some renovations and I'm home alone. Hopefully my next update will be less depressing. Update 2. It's 6 a.m. and I've been crying all night. Sorry for any typos. He broke up with me. He ignored all my texts yesterday, and it was late when I finally texted his brother to ask if he was okay. His brother said, yeah, he left 2 hours ago to give his ex a ride, and then come home. I asked. His ex was there, but he didn't reply. When he finally came home, he told me to sit down because we needed to talk. He said, "I've thought about our situation and I think we should end it." He said, "Today I hung out with my family, and even his mom and ex came over. They all told me that by me going no contact with his mom, it was going to be so awkward and that they'd be stuck in the middle." He said, "When you weren't there today, I enjoyed my time with my family. There was no tension, and I didn't have to worry about you being upset." I asked him, "Why did it take you 2 hours to drop off your ex? Did you sleep with her?" He told me I was being ridiculous and that he was just talking to her. He accused me of being controlling and insecure and said I'm isolating him from his friends and family. I asked him again, so nothing happened. He danced around it, but eventually admitted we fooled around, but that's it. I told him I couldn't believe what a pathetic, weak man he is, letting his mom convince him to ruin everything, and next he's getting a blowjob from his cheating ex. We ended up arguing, and he went to sleep. I cried all night. Today, I'm going to call my dad and ask if I can stay with him. Story 2. AITA for not going to my friend's wedding after what she said to me. A few months ago, a friend of mine told me she was getting married. It wasn't meant to be a regular wedding, but more of an elopement kind of thing. We were supposed to be her, the groom, me as a maid of honor, and a best man, plus a few close family member, about 10 people in total, and it was planned for early November. I say wedding like that in the title because there will be no invites, no save the date, no ceremony, no walk down the aisle, just courthouse and dinner that comes from the bride herself. I'm not guessing anything. A week ago, I got the news that I had gotten a permanent job. I don't know how to explain it because this is a very typical thing for my country, Spain, where every so often the government will hire professionals to work either in the administration or in public institutions, education, high school. This is usually a great opportunity because these positions are for life until you retire and they can never fire you. In order to apply for these positions, you have to take an exam. And then, depending on your years of service to the institution and the score you get on the exam, you can get one of those jobs. Long story short, I took my exam last year and last week I got told that I got one of the jobs, but I will be moving cities for that. When I told my friend this, the only thing she said is, "When are you leaving? Can you still come to my wedding? No congratulations. No, I'm happy for you. Nothing." I must add, 2 weeks ago I talked to her to know where were we having dinner for her wedding. And she said she didn't have anything planned yet, let alone booked. Had she told me she had everything booked and that she really needed my RSVP, I would have understood her answer, but in that context, I've decided that if the only thing she cares about is her and her wedding, and she can't be happy for me, I'm not going to the wedding. AITA? Story 3. AITA for telling my mother-in-law she made her bed, so lay in it. My husband and I are in our early 30s, married for a few years, but together for 11. Throughout this time, we often argued due to my ILS behavior, but specifically mother-in-law. There are many examples I could make, but to sum it up, she has been controlling, not only to my husband, but also me. Even going as far as pressuring my husband to make me do what she wanted regarding situations that didn't concern her at all, disrespectful towards me, overall invasive and demanding. You name it. The only thing she has not done is directly insult me to my face. I kept telling my husband I was over their behavior and to put a stop to it, but he never really acted decisively, so mother-in-law never really stopped. Time after time I would put up a happy front and bite my tongue not to cause drama, but because everything just keeps piling up, I'm always on the verge of blowing up whenever I'm around them. I told my husband I'd like to limit contact at least for a while, but he insists we go visit. My husband is also aware of much I'm affected by this. Anyway, we meet up and mother-in-law starts with her usual antics. I stay quiet until I've had enough and start talking back to her. I did not insult her, but I wouldn't let anything slide like I usually do, and highlighted every inappropriate or invasive comment. She is surprised and asks me what came on to me. I never acted like this, and so on. In a fit of rage, I wasn't yelling and I spoke calmly and slowly, but my emotional state was crystal clear. You couldn't mistake it for a light-hearted remark. I told her she's been disrespecting me for years, and this is what she's getting now, and she made her bed so she should just lay in it. Things got tense and we left. I'm upset but finally feel liberated for standing up for myself. Husband seems torn. Mother-in-law is obviously livid. Husband has now said that he agrees and understands my emotional state on the matter, but also wants to keep the peace and to just apologize. I refused and said I would only be open to revisit the relationship if I see some change and effort to at least be cordial and mutually respectful, and I absolutely will not apologize for anything I said because I mean it and would do it again. I reminded him that he had many chances to stand up to them, and that I also said no one involved would enjoy it if I had to stand up for myself, and he never took me seriously. I also said I never insulted her or yelled at her, so apologizing for my reaction to her comments sounds incredibly backwards. AITA for what I said and for not budging on this.